Hello, dance friends. I'm Christina, and it's time for another technique tip. This video is going to focus on the body wave, which is something that I can't believe I haven't already put into one of these segments, but I was going over this last night, taking a look at my channel, and I realized it was missing, which is pretty egregious. So today, whenever you're watching, I'm going to go ahead and break down all of the elements of the body wave. Okay, so we're going to begin working in our upper back. This is where this one comes from. So I want you to think of squeezing between the shoulder blades to lift the rib cage up. So this is just our general rib cage lift, and we're powering it from these middle back muscles, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. So we're going to squeeze and then release, squeeze, release, and I'm going to keep doing this, and I want you to notice that my arms are staying relatively still, maybe not perfectly still, but we want to make sure that we're not squeezing the shoulder blades themselves back, which is going to move your arm and start giving you this arm pumping action that we're trying to avoid. So as still as possible in the arms and hands. And just a couple more here. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Now, hopefully you felt that work right in here. That's where you should be feeling it. That is the first step to creating our body wave. The next piece, and I'm going to change my stance just a little bit. I like to have one foot back, heel off the floor. Gives me a little bit of bracing, because what's going to happen is my upper body weight is going to come a little behind my center. So if I have like this little braced foot behind me, then I have a little bit of play in managing that upper body weight shift. Okay. So with my shoulders down and relaxed, I'm going to go squeeze, what we just did. Now from here, as though somebody just poked you on the sternum, you're going to slide that back. So now your weight is a little more over that back foot that you're bracing. From here, we're going to think of a string tied in the base of your neck, and it's going to lift. All right. So this isn't a muscular thing necessarily that you're doing. You're just thinking of lifting up intentionally rather than just coming out of that squeeze in your back in a more relaxed state. You'll find when you do that your upper abdominal muscles begin to fire just a little bit. So we're going to go with that. And to finish this off, you're just going to think about rolling up to down through your belly. So think about pulling in the upper belly, and then just walk those fingers down, and you'll feel how those muscles will respond to that. And that's how we're trying to finish off this body wave. Some people find that's the hardest piece to get, that muscular control in the abdominal muscles. But that's okay. Keep practicing it. It'll come eventually. All right. So what were those 4 points? Our shoulders are down. We're nice and soft in our knees. Belly is in, ribs are already lifted, and we're going to squeeze in the back, slide it back, lift up, and we've engaged, roll through, and that roll through is going to bring us back to our neutral posture, which is where we want to be. I'm going to look at that again. I'm going to squeeze, slide, lift, and roll. Or you can also think squeeze, slide, contract, and roll. And that contraction is going to help lift up in the back as well. So squeeze, slide, contract, and roll, or squeeze, slide, lift, and roll. Now all we have to do is smooth this out so it's a nice fluid wave motion in your torso. Notice how there's nothing going on in the hips. We want to make sure that we don't end this out our booty. We want to keep it all nice and high. So here's what it looks like all together, nice and smooth. We lift, squeeze, slide, contract the upper abs, roll it through. Squeeze, slide, contract, and roll. We squeeze, slide, contract, and roll, squeeze, slide, contract, and roll. And that is your basic body wave tutorial. Next, we're going to follow this up with a little bit of music and a little drill practice. We're going to switch our body sides so that we're looking out of both sides of our neck as we drill, and I'm going to face the mirror for that. All right, so we're going to start in our neutral posture. Your feet can either be together or with that foot back. To start, we're just going to begin with the rib cage lift itself. So we go squeeze for 2 and release for 2. Remembering that squeeze is in between your shoulder blades, pulling in towards your spine, but with the tension to the fact that we're not actually pulling the shoulders back and in. We're keeping those arms as still as we can. Squeeze and release. Take it on your other side of your body. Squeeze and release. And that release is still nice and controlled. So make sure that when you release, you're releasing to a good dance posture rather than fully relaxing the abdominal muscles. Squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. And squeeze. Release. We're going to do one more over here, and then we're going to stay on this side. All right, I'm going to adjust my foot that's closest to my mirror a little bit back to help take on that upper body weight shift. My shoulders are down, I'm relaxed. Get this hand out of your way. We're going to squeeze, slide, contract, roll through. Squeeze, slide it back, contract the abs, roll it through. Squeeze, slide, contract, roll it through. And for now, we're stopping at every point so we can really feel each piece of the movement. Squeeze, slide, contract, roll through. Squeeze, slide, contract, roll through. Couple more over here. Slide, contract, roll through. Last one. Squeeze, slide, contract, roll through. I'm going to switch my side. Other foot is now behind with the heel off the floor. Now we're going to do them nice and smooth. Shoulders down. Here we go. Squeeze, slide, and contract, roll through. I'm going to lift my arms up so you can see more of what's going on in my body. Contract, roll through. This is also a lovely arm position for this movement. So in this arm position, I have my front shoulder pulled open so that my arm is effectively looks like it's framing my head. The other arm is up on a slight diagonal. I'm just doing a little extra sauce with the hands. You don't need to worry about that. Squeeze and slide, contract, roll through. We're going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to show you what you always want to do after working on a spinal movement like this. Here's our last one. All right, so we did a lot of curving the spine this way, taking that upper back bend. So to get a little relief from that, we're going to take the spine in the other direction. So go ahead and reach your arms up, soften those knees, low belly pulls in, pull your hips back, come flat back, and then you're going to round that out all the way down and just hang there. So now we're taking the spine in the opposite direction from all the work we just did. Probably feel the stretch. And then keeping your belly pulled in, keeping your knees bent, I want you to come up with a flat back, sweeping those arms out all the way up and bring it into your center. So that was our little quickie body wave drill. Feel free to do that whenever you want to work on that movement. That one has so much potential in our belly dance. Thank you for dancing with me. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.